So all the wars and violence happening in the world today, it's actually just one big war, and it's a class war. And it's easy to actually see if you stop listening to the corporate news and lobbied politicians for just 5 minutes. I mean, just look at the material reality of the violence around us. Because according to corporate media, all of the state violence being waged around the world is being used to fight terrorism, which is an intentionally shapeless enemy. Terrorists are whoever the ruling class decides the enemy are today. But how about, instead of listening to their words, we just go and have a look at their actions? Look at who all the weapons of the military-industrial complex are actually being used against. US-made bombs dropped by US-made planes are murdering entire families in Palestine so capitalist Israelis can steal their land. US-made rifles held by US-paid mercenaries murder and steal all of the wealth of the Congo so US corporations can report profit growth for this quarter. US-made tanks are being deployed in US cities to protect US-run paramilitaries so they can kidnap and terrorize the poorest workers on US streets to fill private prisons owned by, you guessed it, US corporations. Meanwhile, US-made chemical weapons are being used to crush US citizens every time they protest against the endless violence being waged for US corporate interests. None of these events are separate from the others. The capitalist class, the billionaire oligarchs, see every worker fighting for freedom and equality as a threat to profits, so they unleash unspeakable violence against us and our entire communities. They seek to crush any attempt at justice and terrify the rest of us into passivity. But the truth is, there is only one war being waged in the world today, and it's being waged by capitalists attempting to save their decaying systems by extinguishing any and all life that stands between them and the accumulation of profit. And that's why we are the only thing that stands to oppose them. And the greatest weapon we have is working class solidarity, which is why they tried to endlessly divide us with racism, sexism, xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, and all the rest of the manufactured culture war bullshit. Because so long as you see any part of this story as being separate from the other, then you don't even realize yet what war you are really fighting. Because at every level of this story, it is rich capitalists crushing and oppressing workers. And I really hope all of this finally starts to click for you soon, and I hope that realization hits you hard. And I also hope all of the soldiers being sent in to destroy and crush their fellow citizens and their fellow workers worldwide finally have a crisis of conscience, and then I hope you finally have the courage to realize whose side you are really on. Because when that day comes, you will also realize that we are by far the stronger side. Because they may have all the capital, but capital doesn't actually do anything or make anything. Labor does. Labor does everything in this world. And we, the workers, do all the labor. And the moment enough of us realize that, we will become undeniable and unstoppable. Anyway, something to think about.